So you might not know this, but usually reactivity stems from two places. The first place being excitement, and this is where the dog wants to get to the other dog, or they want to get towards whatever it is that they're reacting at. So what happens there is they build up a lot of frustration and they start barking, and it kind of looks really crazy and sometimes aggressive, but it's coming from a place of excitement. The dog is just overwhelmed with excitement and really wants to get over to whatever it is that they're barking at. The second most common place that you're going to find reactivity stemming from is fear. Now, fear is one where the dog's actually going to be barking and acting aggressively and lunging and all of these things in an attempt to drive things away from them. They're trying to create space, they're trying to create distance, they're trying to be as big and as bad and as scary as they possibly can in an attempt to move whatever that trigger is away from them. Although they come from two very different places, and you could say that that's like one end of the spectrum to the other, the behavior itself usually looks very similar. So a dog that is barking out of excitement can look just as scary, just as aggressive as a dog that is barking and lunging out of fear. What loose lead walking is doing is it's giving your dog a solid foundation. It's giving them an understanding of what they're supposed to be doing when you bring them out in public. So when you've taught your dog to walk on a loose lead, essentially what you've done is you've taught them a position that keeps them nice and calm and, you know, keeps them focused on you and just gives them something to do. Loose lead walking really is a life skill. It's something that you need to teach your dog because it is something that is just going to unlock the doors to so many different things when it comes to going out into public with your dog. If your dog can't walk loosely on a lead, it's going to become extremely stressful for you long term, and there are many chances that the dog's going to become overstimulated, over aroused, and that's when reactivity essentially happens. So what you're really doing with loose lead walking is you're teaching them an important life skill that's going to keep them nice and calm on your walks. And then when you have a nice calm dog on a walk, you're way less likely to see any reactivity. That's not to say that reactivity isn't going to happen, because there is obviously still chances that, you know, even if your dog is in a calm state like Olive is in now, there's still a chance that a dog might just pop round this corner here or pop round from over there, and she might bark and she might react. But in that moment, what I'll do is I'll interrupt that behavior very quickly. I will say no to her, and then I will immediately put her back into a behavior that I've taught. So in this instance, she's just standing nice and calmly next to me. But if there was a dog coming, what I would do is I would say no, I would correct her for the behavior, and I would tell her to heel, and we'd probably be walking off in the other direction. So that's why it's really important that you've got a solid foundation of behavior, because what it does is it gives your dog a good thing to fall back on, and it creates a lot less confusion and forms way more clarity when it comes to changing bad behavior. So teaching your dog to walk nicely forms the foundation. It's not going to fix the reactivity, but it is an amazing place to start. It's going to get you moving through the process really quite quickly once you master it, and you will start seeing improvements in your dog's behavior, because ultimately they're just going to be so much calmer on your walks. You are going to encounter those little bouts of reactivity, and all you have to do in those moments is just interrupt the behavior. So do whatever you need to do to interrupt the behavior. If you're going to give them a pop on the lead to snap them out of it, brilliant. If you're going to change direction to redirect their focus, brilliant. Do that. Do whatever you need to do to interrupt the behavior, and then immediately bring them back into the taught behavior, which is be calm by my side. So that's how you're going to start overcoming your dog's reactivity, through teaching them how to walk nicely on a loose lead. It's where I recommend you start. It's where I start with every single dog that I take out. Olive is a reactive dog, and I've actually not seen too much of her reactivity because I started in this process, and I showed you exactly how I did this in my last video, where I showed you exactly how I teach a dog to walk nicely on a loose lead. So that will be up there somewhere. But I've done that process with Olive. We started in the quiet area, then we slowly but surely built up. We started walking through the village, we started walking through slightly busier places, so there was like a few more people and a few more things around, but nothing crazy. We've now since progressed to being into different parks and things, and that's where we are today. Hiya, you're right. So yeah, we've just been slowly but surely building it up with Olive and not trying to take it too fast. So what I'm trying to look for is that she's 10 out of 10 focusing on me. Her loose lead walking is as consistent as it was in the really boring place that we started in. now in the busier place that we're in. And when that starts to happen, that's when you start to see progress happening. You're often not going to make progress when you go from seeing 10 out of 10 walking in a boring place, and then you think that you're going to be able to go straight to a busy place, and it's going to be way too much for your dog. It's going to be way too overwhelming, probably for you as well. The dog's going to be behaving in ways that you maybe haven't seen for a while. You're going to get completely surprised by it, and then everything's just going to tear apart. So what you need to make sure that you're doing is you're just taking your time, slowly but surely building it up and gradually introducing things. Your main focus is to keep the dog in the behavior that you've taught them. This is the behavior that's going to keep your dog calm. 99.9% of reactivity is over arousal. So it's the dog just getting so overstimulated that they can't control themselves and they're exploding. So whether it be fear or whether it be excitement, you want to make sure that you're keeping that arousal down. So that's what this is really good for. It's keeping the arousal down, it's keeping the focus on you, and it's just going to prevent your dog from getting to that point where they're just going to explode. So what you want to think of is kind of keeping your dog's rev counter below the red line, because what's happening is these reactive dogs is they're walking around and they're just like teetering on the edge of the red line the whole time, and then as soon as a dog comes out, they're just way over the edge. So what you want to do is you want to keep your dog on that low rev count. You want to keep them nice and low so they're nice and calm 99.9% of the time. Then what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to take them out and successfully expose them to so many more different things, at which point you will slowly but surely start to see either the reactivity completely disappear, or it's just going to become way more easy for you to manage. So as always, I hope this has helped, and I will see you guys in the next video.